Ever felt like life was trying to break you? Like every time you got back up, another problem knocked you down? Maybe you've been carrying burdens nobody knows about. Maybe you're exhausted from fighting battles that seem to have no end. Most people believe strength comes from confidence, money, power, or talent. But Jesus taught something completely different. He faced temptation, betrayal, rejection, suffering, and even death. Yet through every storm, he remained strong, peaceful, and focused. How? Because he lived by principles that gave him unshakable strength. Today, we're going to discover 6 powerful lessons from Jesus that can help you stay strong no matter what life throws your way.
If you are hungry, command these stones to become bread.
One of the first major challenges Jesus faced was in the wilderness. After fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry, weak, and physically exhausted. That's when Satan came to tempt him. The enemy tried to convince Jesus to rely on himself instead of trusting God. But Jesus refused. Instead of depending on his own strength, he depended on God's word. This teaches us something powerful. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. The strongest people are those who know where to find strength when their own strength runs out. Many of us try to carry every burden alone. We try to solve every problem ourselves. We worry, we stress, we overthink. But Jesus showed us that true strength begins when we stop relying entirely on ourselves and start trusting God. When life becomes overwhelming, don't ask, "How am I going to handle this?" Instead ask, "What has God already said about this situation?" Sometimes the answer isn't more effort. Sometimes it's more trust.
Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will.
One thing Jesus did consistently was pray. Before making important decisions, he prayed. Before performing miracles, he prayed. Before facing the cross, he prayed. In the Garden of Gethsemane, knowing that unimaginable suffering was ahead, Jesus didn't panic. He prayed. While everyone else slept, Jesus prepared himself spiritually. That's a lesson many people miss. Most people wait until disaster strikes before seeking God. Jesus built his strength before the battle arrived. Prayer wasn't his emergency plan. Prayer was his lifestyle, and that's why he remained strong when everything around him was falling apart. If you want peace during the storm, build your relationship with God before the storm comes. Prayer doesn't always change the situation immediately, but it changes the person facing the situation. And sometimes that's exactly the miracle we need.
As I have washed your feet, so you must serve others.
Focus away from ourselves. Many people become trapped in their own pain. They think constantly about their problems, their fears, their disappointments. But Jesus showed that one of the fastest ways to find purpose is to help someone else. Sometimes healing begins when you become a blessing to another person. Sometimes strength grows when you lift someone else up. Serving others doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger.
Peace! Be still! Why are you so afraid?
Jesus and his disciples were crossing a lake when a violent storm appeared. The waves crashed against the boat. The wind howled. The disciples panicked. They were convinced they were about to die. Meanwhile, Jesus was sleeping. When they woke him up, he calmed the storm with a single command. Then he asked a question that still challenges us today. Why are you afraid? The disciples saw a storm. Jesus saw an opportunity for faith. And that's often true in our lives. When problems appear, fear immediately begins speaking. Fear says, "It's impossible. You're going to fail. Nothing will ever change." But faith says, "God is still in control." You may be facing a storm right now. Financial pressure, health issues, family struggles, uncertainty about the future. Remember this. Fear gets loudest right before the breakthrough. Don't let the storm convince you that God has abandoned the boat.
Father, please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing.
One of the greatest displays of strength in human history happened while Jesus was hanging on the cross. After being beaten, mocked, rejected, and crucified, he prayed for the very people who hurt him. He said, "Father, forgive them." Most people think forgiveness is weakness. Jesus proved the opposite. Forgiveness is strength. Holding on to anger feels powerful for a moment, but over time it becomes a burden. It steals peace. It steals joy. It steals freedom. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was acceptable. It doesn't mean the pain wasn't real. It simply means you're refusing to let that pain control the rest of your life. The people who hurt you may not deserve forgiveness, but you deserve peace, and sometimes peace begins with letting go.
Accept God's will, not my will, but yours.
In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed one of the most powerful prayers ever spoken. "Not my will, but yours be done." Those words reveal the final lesson. Real strength is not controlling everything. Real strength is trusting God when you can't. Many times we have a plan for our lives. We know what we want. We know where we want to go. But life doesn't always follow our plans. Doors close. Opportunities disappear. Dreams get delayed. And in those moments we have a choice. We can fight reality, or we can trust that God sees what we cannot see. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's believing that God's vision is greater than your own. The greatest blessings often come through doors we never planned to walk through. Maybe you're watching this during one of the hardest seasons of your life. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're discouraged. Maybe you've been carrying a burden for months or even years. If that's you, remember this. The same God who strengthened Jesus in the wilderness, the same God who carried him through betrayal, the same God who gave him peace in the storm, is the same God who is with you right now. Your situation may be difficult, but it is not greater than God. Don't quit. Don't lose hope. Keep trusting. Keep praying. Keep believing, because your story isn't over yet. If this message encouraged you, leave a comment below and write, "I will not give up." And remember, the strongest people are not those who never face storms. They are the ones who learn to walk through them with God by their side.